Hello, welcome to a new game called Reliquia Park. I think that's how it's pronounced. This game is on itch.io. It's supposed to be a puzzlescript game, so that's why I'm running it on my browser. It is not a game you can download really. So yeah, I had to do a bit of playing around to figure it out, but I eventually got it. So Reliquia Park is a puzzle game in which I believe the main goal is to push around objects. So you can see here I have a character which I can control. I can continue, even though I don't believe I have an old save. I've never played this game before. Or I can just start a new game, which I will do. So yeah, you can see here a puzzle title, which is really just a name. Actually, looking at the screen, I think I could afford to zoom in a bit. I don't know if... Okay, can I zoom in a bit? Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm gonna try zooming in a bit. Yeah, I think this works. Let's zoom in. Hopefully it's centered enough, but I don't think it really matters. It's okay. Yeah, so it's supposed to be not really open world, but there is quite a world for you to explore around here. Whoa, warning. Due to despair and environmental hazards, this trail is temporarily off limits. Proceed at your own risk. I'm gonna like sort of be checking over time how this looks like on the recording screen, so you'll see a couple pauses here and there. Hopefully that's fine. Leaving so soon. I'm not allowed to leave, I see, so I do have to go upwards, probably embarking on the trail then. Intro 1, so an intersection here. I do want to note that the music right now playing is not actually part of this game. The music playing is from a Spotify playlist that was recommended to be played as part of this game. It was compiled by the creator of this game to sort of create an atmosphere for players, because apparently you're not allowed to add music to puzzlescript games, which is interesting. Alright, let's move on with the adventure. Looks like a windy path here. Okay. An information tab or gravestone. Welcome to Reliquia Park. Walk into the epitaphs to read them, just like you did to this one. They will be your tour guide for the way into the forest. Okay. I do see some pillars that are sort of knocked down a little bit. I would assume those are aesthetic choices, not necessarily puzzle elements. This though definitely feels like a puzzle element. So here you can see blocks you can push around. They do eventually get stuck, and if you play around with them, you'll notice that the area in which these these boxes can be pushed is defined by the checkered box pattern down here. So you can sort of push them around a little bit within this checkered grid. So yes. Also, can I actually walk out here? I can't. This is sort of a one-way gate. Interesting. I don't know why I started on that gate, but perhaps this will be the case from now on. Alright, so multi-push exists, which is a gimmick in which you can push multiple blocks at once. I probably want to do that. So right now, a very Sokoban-ish type thing. Mistakes happen. Use the Z key to undo your last move, or the R key to restart an area. So R key restarts, Z key undoes. Makes sense. So here, possibly what I want to do is the regular Sokoban trick. This basically appears in every Sokoban game where you have 3 blocks in a row and your goal is to try and maneuver your way through them. Now I can see here up there I'm not allowed to push a block up because I will get stuck. So I want to be able to clear this area. So probably what I want to do is move each block backwards like so. And because multi-push is a thing that works, actually it isn't really required. This is solvable at this state. Although yeah, it was multi-push was required to push this stack over to the left. So yeah, sorry, I was wrong. Multi-push is a thing. It's always been a thing, actually. Hello. The forest is full of mysterious relics left behind by the previous inhabitants. Most areas will not let you proceed until the relics are placed in a particular way. Right, so you can see here possibly what I want to do, because of the gravestone asking me to place relics in a particular way, is push relics into, well, this indicated area over here. You can see the box lights up, and also this gate lets me through. That makes sense. That is actually how Sokoban really works. I think these are all isolated instances here. I think they are. Right, okay. That makes sense. I guess interestingly enough, I've never really played around with the idea of being able to walk on an outer region while the boxes are only confined to a certain space. Press the X key to open the menu. You can use it to return to previous levels. Really? Ah, previous level, right, because, you know, this is blocked. I also see an option to return to hub, which probably eventually comes in handy when I reach a puzzle hub. You often need to challenge your own assumptions about how the relics of this land behave. Interesting. So we have more spaces. We have more, you know, outputs than we have boxes. But maybe the point is that only a certain number. Yes, only. Okay. So rather than each relic being required to, rather than each output requiring a box on it, each box just has to be on an output instead. So that is where the assumption is challenged. We can probably do the same thing here. There may be more rules to abide by than you initially thought. It will be up to you to discover such rules. So perhaps that is not even the full gist of it. Okay. Interesting. So look at that. Suddenly, both of these boxes stop lighting up, which means I'm not allowed to actually do this. But this works. Alright, so looking at this, we can sort of think about why these two are not really, you know, working, and only the bottom one works. I believe the answer is probably because they're in the same row as this box here. So maybe outputs cannot be in the same row, they have to be sort of diagonal. And this will work with the previous level in which none of the outputs were ever, you know, in the same row or column. So there was never really a problem there. Which means probably what I want to do is have this at the very bottom area where it doesn't collide with any of the boxes beside it. That makes sense. Wow, okay. Your greatest asset will be your willingness to experiment. Don't be afraid to test your theories before moving on. Interesting. Well, in the previous level, we did notice that diagonals are fine. So blocks can be sort of diagonal to each other. It works. Okay, but from what I can see here, this is the most constrained. The X over here probably already blocks off this and this, which means that for this square over here, the only space this box can go is up there. Therefore, these two spaces are blocked, meaning the only space this box can go is actually down there. Interesting. Alright. Let's continue on. This is your final test before the forest opens up to you. Stay curious, stay determined, and the mysteries of this place will become yours to hold. Okay. Well, it looks like this might be the most constrained. Somewhat similar as this. I'm not entirely sure if it is that way. Well, I can say something about this, the boxes here. They can't both be in here because they would see each other, and in seeing each other, they wouldn't work. So clearly, one of them at least has to go here. The other one could occupy either this space or this space, and it wouldn't really matter right now. But we do know that this is forced. Now that implies that this is not having a box on it. That implies that these two boxes take up the three boxes in here. But I can make another deduction. They can't take up both these boxes. And while they do work with each other, they don't work with this box over here, which, wherever you put it, would actually not work. Meaning that because the boxes can't both be in this area, one of them has to be in the last area remaining, which is there. That actually will work down here, where a box can't go in here now, and therefore has to go here. That then bounces back up here where this can't have a box on it, it has to go down. And finally, this one only has one more option, which is down here. Nice. Pretty puzzle element-y to it, so that's fun. Alright, let's keep on moving. The forest has finally opened up to us. We have this area over here with a diamond, but it's blocked off. Not entirely sure how that might open up to itself. Whoa, what is this? This is a very interesting title name. 119XX or plus plus. We are now standing in a garden. The garden serves as checkpoints you can always return to. So I can come back here if I need to. Each garden has an ancient name made of 5 sigils. You can see the particular name of this garden above. So this 119 plus plus is the sigils that this garden is named after. When you discover a garden, it is wise idea to note down its name somewhere. You'll be able to use the name to travel back to the garden later. Okay. I guess it's time to open up my notepad and write it down. So, Reliquia Park Gardens. I don't know if I should name these, say, first exit, maybe? We'll call this the first exit, and its sigils are the 119x, plus plus. Okay. Let's keep on going. Intro 15, we're still in the intro. V. Alright, thank you for that information, that was very helpful. More information. You're about to enter the heart of the forest. Each of the 5 lands of Reliquia Park will become available for you to explore freely. Okay, eventually I'll be able to reach. Alright. Intro end. Good luck. Alright, and this sends me to... it sends me to the heart of the forest, apparently. Whoa! Alright, screen scroll, that hasn't shown up before. Cool. Let's go to the hub. Welcome to the heart of the forest. Pick any exit to explore that section further. You'll be able to return to here at any time via the menu, or use the teleporter in the south to travel any garden you can know the name of. Okay, so I see here. So it looks like a number pad. It is not a number pad. So if I wanted to go back to that garden that I was going to, it was 119 plus plus. And I would assume these teach me how to use it. Yeah, step onto the arrows, then move up or down to cycle through sigils. Press X to confirm the sigils you've entered. Enter the portal in the center of the area to travel to the garden. Alright, this is the same thing. Yeah, alright, so X to confirm. It doesn't really say if anything is confirmed, but if I step here, was it here? Or do I have to be standing on here to activate it? I do. Alright, and going in will probably bring me back to that garden I was in before. I am. Okay. Whoa. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, let's... I can't return to hub. Interesting. I guess I have to go back manually. It's okay. Sure. Okay, well, we're back here. I think let's do some exploring a little bit. We have a total of 5 areas to go to according to this map. I think these 5 areas are marked by the paths down here. Yeah, where it sort of branches a little bit. I don't know what this area might be. This is the way to land of Glyph. This way to the helps and hints area. Okay, because of the question mark. Fair enough. This is the way to land of Pylon. I have to be underneath to be this way to land of Totem. I have to be underneath the gravestone to read it? Interesting. These are trees, Christmas trees. This way to the land of Spire. Alright, I'm not sure if there's any order in which I have to play these. I'm fairly certain. Land of Shard. And this is Land of Glyph, right? Alright, let's see which one appears to be the most easy to work with here. I think right now, Glyph and Shard look fairly complex because they have multiple symbols. Whereas Totem, Pylon, no sorry, Pylon's up here. So you can see Pylon works with some directional-ish thing. Right now, Totem, whatever this is, the Christmas tree, Spire. And the other one over there, which is Shard. Well, Shard also has directional inputs, so possibly somewhat complex. Means probably I want to start here and possibly go in a anti-clockwise direction. That makes the most sense to me. We have a pentagon-ish area here, which I assume tracks our progress in each of these 5 lands. So let's see if we can go here and start exploring. Totem 0. Whoa, there's a totem here. I'm not sure this is a totem, but oh, never mind. These totems do have different symbols. I'm not sure if I want to do that anymore. Maybe here then. Oh, there's also a thing here I can go to, but it's locked. Alright, no, I'm gonna stick to my guts here. Totem it is. We are allowed to explore freely, so I assume there's no reason for you to hide anything. The most solitary of the 5 settler groups leave for the northwest of the forest. They take with them the Relic of the Forsaken. The totem, I would assume. Totem 1, hello. So I gotta push you around, maybe, figure out what you do. Right now this X implies that it is not working, but it works now. Okay, my first thought is adjacency, because these objects are right now touching each other. Okay. Well, they're not. They do work if seeing each other on the same row. So that was, it might just be adjacency then. Yeah, so yes, you can see here it's adjacency, but in walking down I break that adjacency. Yeah, quite obviously. So I need to somehow not do that. I can push you down to break that adjacency. Cool. Next up, Totem 3. Alright, so well, possibly I see the solution here. It might be to just do this. There you go, now they're not adjacent anymore. I can see this bar rising up here, so perhaps the more puzzles I solve, the more I hit this top area, of which I will finally be considered maybe having mastered this mechanic. That seems plausible. But, quite obviously, I believe there's probably something more to this mechanic here besides adjacency alone. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, adjacency seems right. Hello, we have a little garden over here. I can sort of see. Okay, so I don't know how to input a triangle into my keyboard. We'll call this Totem Garden 1. And these symbols are triangle, which I'll probably label as TR. I need to read. Triangle 1 1. It's kind of like a 7 but reversed S. Alright, triangle 117S. That works. Let's read. This might be lore. Settler era, Northwest City is built. Each part of land is vast and clearly separated from its neighbors, hence the lack of adjacency. Cool. The residents of Northwest City might try to minimize interaction as much as possible. I can tell why. There's also a passage up here because I didn't want to read the lore for some reason. Maybe for speedrunning purposes. Totem 5. Alright, these are isolated instances, so let's see if I can try and pack them. Well, this is quite simple right now. There are actually multiple solutions, so maybe from here we can learn how this X is differentiated. Alright, now this is a solution. Does pushing this up make a solution? It does. So right now, nothing but adjacency here actually. Okay. Maybe it just is adjacency then. Okay. Well, if I pushed all of these to the corners, I can then have these be sort of in a horse formation. So you can see here, each of these are horse moves apart. I think this is sort of the closest you can be without being adjacent to each other, besides, you know, being 2 tiles apart. Whoa, that's a lot of totems. Let's see what I can do. Now, one way to do this is possibly... I'm not sure. There's this large area down here, which might be where I'm focusing on more. Yeah, because this is a separate instance. I'm not entirely sure how I might arrange these items, but I can see possibly one solution is to do this. And then push this over to the left. This might be the only solution I can see, which will direct us on how we build this area up here. Right now, one thing I can note is that this middle cell here always have to be empty because it sees all the cells around it, and therefore if something was here, anything around it would be adjacent, which then breaks the puzzle. Okay. Well, one way I can probably make this a bit more space efficient is something like this. But that would give us a directive on how to solve this one, which actually already solves itself. So probably just some rightward push here would solve the puzzle. It does. Alright, cool. Let's keep going. Triangle, triangle, horseshoe, horseshoe, and Y. Okay. Totem Garden 2 will be triangle, triangle, horseshoe, horseshoe, Y. This is a horseshoe, right? It goes to be considered to be an N, actually. I think an N is a little bit easier to write down in terms of notation. Because I'm writing triangle as TR right now, which is less than ideal. I could technically copy a delta symbol, but my keyboard doesn't have it and I'm not bothered to copy and paste. The idea spreads that complete isolation is a true path to enlightenment. And why so? Also, this is a dead end. Oh, it's not. What? Residents avoid leaving their houses as much as possible, and businesses rely on a self-serve model to function. This really looks like it's a dead end, but I guess the tombstone is sort of shifted down a bit from its actual tile. Hello, you are a different symbol, so this might be where it goes in. Alright, well, if we were to follow the... There you go, it doesn't really work out now. But as you can see from the starting area, pure adjacency doesn't work either, so what is going on? Does it have to be... No, does it have to be diagonal? Diagonal adjacencies only, perhaps? Maybe. It's not really no adjacencies because that would have survived. That would have worked the first time I tried it. So diagonal adjacencies only seems like a plausible solution. Well, it's not that because this isn't adjacent to anything. I'm not entirely sure how it works. Okay, this is forced. Wait, is it forced? How do I get rid of... Oh no, sorry, this is a block I can stand on. No, I'm very confused. This technically works. Oh, this doesn't work, but this does. It's not about adjacency anymore, it's about direction. Or maybe relative position? It could also be similar to the blocks that we had at the very beginning where they can't see each other in the same column. Right now, this seems to follow that rule. So does that, actually. So let's see. This breaks the rule. Yes, this works. This breaks the rule because they are seeing each other in the same row. This breaks the rule. This breaks the rule. I would assume this also breaks the rule. So this is about seeing each other in the same row and column, from what I can tell. So this is a force to be in here, which means that gives us directive on where this goes. Same for here and therefore here. There you go. None of them are seeing it in the column or row. So this is very similar to the initial thing that we're looking at. Okay. So we can probably work on this. That is a solution. Probably not the only solution, but it is one. This is Y9, 1, and Y1. Alright. Works for me. Totem Garden 3. Y9, Y, 1, Y1. Pretty hard to say. Try saying that 3 times fast. Pre-isolation era. Isolation becomes the only way of life in the northwest city. As a result, prices become more strict. You can't even see each other. It looks like, though, you couldn't be adjacent to each other. Directly interacting with others is now seen as an interruption of the path to enlightenment and must be avoided. We have the introvert. houses that contain more than one resident begin to be separated into distinct sections, only communicating with each other when necessary. That is quite unfortunate. Alright, we're mixing them both, so I believe that these guys can't see anything in their row or column, and these guys can't be adjacent to anything. So what about something like this? No, because this thing sees something in the here. This doesn't work though, because this 3 over here, is it a 3? It's like a backwards, there's an epsilon, touches this, so how might I do this? Well, one way I could do this is actually by shifting this object all the way down here and moving this away, because now this doesn't touch anything, these don't see anything either. Cool. Oh, these are stuck in place. They are, well, they imply that nothing can be in the column that they're in, because they would see them. So probably what I want to do is, oh, what? Oh, this does solve itself. This is an unintended solution, maybe? It does appear that each of these columns needs to hold one of these epsilons, but not entirely so, because the epsilons don't need to, you know, be separated into columns, they just need to not touch anything. Okay, I'm happy with that solution. Now it's the opposite. Well, the same still works out because these cannot see anything, so it sort of works in the inverse where you can't see the epsilon down there. In a way, they must be in their own column now. They can't share columns like the epsilons previously, but they also can't share rows, so this is probably the only... Well, this is one of the ways to solve it, but I think a more satisfying solution would be this, where everything goes in a ascending or descending order. Alright, this is a more open area. 2 isolated regions though that don't see each other in terms of column or row, so these are truly isolated regions. The only thing that isn't isolated is the fact that this 3 can sort of touch something down here. But maybe we want to avoid that by having something like... Well, how do I avoid that? I can do something like this that truly avoids any contact. Yes, and these guys don't see anything. This 3 is not touching anything, so this works. Now we can sort of do something similar here. Maybe this up here was a tutorial on how we might approach this puzzle. The 3 over here, maybe we want to push it into a corner. That seems like the most ideal way to isolate it. These now, well, these 4 areas do want to occupy, you know, this 4x4 here, so maybe just a simple... Oh, that just works, yeah. I was thinking of like a diagonal line over here that would fit the theme created by this solution. So this is a much prettier solution. I'll take it. Where am I? Oh, there. Okay. This is another garden. Garden 4. What are the symbols here? Triangle 7, 0, Y 0. Triangle 7, 0, Y 0. Nice. The council officially writes an edict into the law. Direct communication is forbidden. Okay. Family relationships, friends, and enemies quickly become outdated concepts. So everyone is just on their own now. Solidarity. Solidarity. Okay. Now, I do want to note, we haven't figured out if these walls over here count as blockages. It's entirely possible, and I think we can actually prove that to be the case here from the fact that this and this here have to be part of a 3x3, right? They have to form some sort of diagonal line, or in some way not see each other in the same row or column. In that sort of aspect, they do occupy every column in this grid and every row in this grid. Therefore, should these not actually block vision, that would render this impossible because they would always be seen in the same row as, you know, this grid, or the same column as anything in this grid. So I believe possibly that this is in fact hidden. Now, how it's hidden is interesting to me though, because there are 2 options for it to be hidden from something, but each option does expose it to something else. So I'm not entirely sure how this might work. As for this though, I can probably find some way to block it. Yeah, this over here with this block and this block over here prevents it from line of sight for both of these. So this is sort of isolated on its own already. Maybe this is fine. No, see, is this sort of has to be here for it to be not seen by any of these? But INSO would actually do I see. It's a trick. This appears to be similar to this in a way that it has to be occupying 3 different rows. But we already proved that each block over here blocks vision. So one way to actually do this without occupying or without bothering this totem over here is to actually do something like this. They're in the same row, but they block each other because they exist on this block. I can place this over here so that this isn't actually seen. And now I can just simply place this in any formation and this works. Nice puzzle. Alright, this actually might be a pretty long this might be a pretty long section over here. We've been at it for about 30 minutes. I probably want to reach the next garden, the next totem garden, and then we'll call it for the day. Now there is a lot of vision totems here, which I think is what I'm going to call them. So maybe what I want to do is sort of arrange them around. Well, that actually gets stuck. Arrange them around this area. It definitely looks plausible. Oh, can I walk underneath here? I can, alright. It wasn't actually stuck. I thought that, you know, these walls sort of binded themselves to the trees here, which is why I couldn't walk underneath them. Yeah, so I was thinking maybe putting them around the block here would make them more, you know, easily hidden from each other. Maybe this is the case here. This one I can just push all the way down, I wouldn't see anything. But the problem is that this one and this one see each other. So what I have to do is take this and move it away by pushing it down here. This blocks it using this block over here, which I think solves the puzzle. Nice. Alright, it is in fact a new Totem Garden, Totem Garden number 5. And upon reaching this, I think it is valid to call it a day. Let's just mark this down in case I want to come back to it. This is 7Y01 triangle. 7Y01 triangle. And there you go. Let's read the law before finishing off. As a form of wordless indirect communication, residents carve small wooden totems to give to others. Okay, that's how they talk to each other. I see that's how each totem works. Each totem shape is unique to the resident who created it, a personal crest. I see. Totems are placed at doorsteps or left in random public places, each waiting for someone to happen upon it. Each one is an asynchronous hello. Interesting, so this is how they communicate now. I wonder how you provide any more information than just hello, but maybe we'll see in eventual gardens how this might work. Right now we've only been able to see 2 totems so far, but there's probably more, dealing with different types of adjacencies. Maybe one that deals with directional adjacency, maybe one that deals with, diagonal adjacency. We'll figure it out eventually. Perhaps, a knight's move away also counts as adjacent for some of these crests. It's all speculation right now, but I think this game has been pretty fun so far. It's been pretty cool. Oh, now looking at it, I realize this bar is not centered to the screen. So this this green dot over here is aligned to the garden name, but the bar itself goes down far lower than usual. No matter though. Yeah, so that was the first episode of Reliquia Park for you. Pretty fun, puzzly Sokoban game. I actually enjoyed this. I will come back to this, obviously. We'll see if we can do things in, continue the totem, maybe spend an episode and a half on it, maybe 2 episodes on it, seeing as to how long this bar is. Yeah, until then though, I think I'll be off for now. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.